It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to the program. It is County-Wide, and I'm happy to welcome in the studio a couple of guests that we have talked to a number of times about Toys for Tots in the Sedona area, Leonard and Karen Barrow, and they have been involved in this program for a long, long time and are slowly stepping aside. Am I correct in saying that, Len?
You are.
Yeah. Well, I hate to see that, but God bless you for all you've done so far with this program, about a decade.
About a decade
of involvement, and that's terrific. But I know you've got a friend in studio today who's going to be kind of stepping in and stepping up, and this program will continue to thrive in the Sedona area. When we say Toys for Tots, we say it about this time of year, right after Thanksgiving, and we think about pairing up youngsters who may be disadvantaged in one way or another with some toys to bring some holiday cheer to them, and that's one of the things we'll get at today. But maybe more importantly, and we talked off mic a little bit about this, and I want to share with our listeners how important this is, not just the shiny, sparkly piece of plastic that kids love and get, but how important it is to show them that you care about them, that someone does take their concerns, that there's a huge social element to Toys for Tots. And Len, you were sharing, and I'd like you to share it again with our listeners, some of those things that you've seen over the years, just heartwarming moments that have happened through this program.
Well, I think the one that stands out the most is one of the early years that we were doing it, and after we had a breakfast type of dinner, or a breakfast meal, and this parent come up afterwards, and we give the kids a little bag of toys, and they look at us and actually had tears in their eyes, and she said, you know, this is one of the biggest problems I had. Where was I going to get the money for kids Christmas this year? Yeah. And you've provided it, and we are so thankful for that.
Right.
And just things like that. It gives them a little bit of hope. The kids aren't forgotten in the hustle and bustle of what's going on and parents losing jobs and things like that.
Yeah.
So this is an extremely important program to help out at this time of year.
Yeah. Karen, I want to ask you something. A lot of us are going to say, well, Sedona is kind of an affluent community. A lot of folks in Sedona have means, have the resources. It's just a generalization that we make, and we do that with everybody. And so is there anything to that? I'm guessing you've probably run into that before when talking to donors or sponsors or things like that. What do you say to that issue?
Well, it's true. Sedona is an affluent community, but there are families still that have children that are working in Sedona. Right. And sometimes they have a couple jobs trying to make ends meet. Right. And so while even the population of children has decreased, the demand for help has not. So there is need. There still is plenty of need.
Yeah. Toys for Tots, the big organization, the umbrella organization, was kind of through the U.S. Marine Reserves decades ago.
Yeah.
And then it's...
Last year, we celebrated our 75th anniversary.
Wow. Okay. So a long, long time. And then what do we say, chapters, or how do we define kind of Sedona, Cottonwood?
It's called a campaign.
Okay.
And for example, in Region 6, of which we're a member of, there are 187 of these campaigns throughout Region 6, which is the 10 western states plus Guam.
Okay.
So out here in the west, we're spread out.
Right.
So we cover a lot of territory. And what's happened is, because of so many of the reserve units are constantly going overseas, that they've come to what started the Marine Corps League was one, and then other groups of people got together and say, hey, we want to pick this up and keep it going.
Okay. Well, in the reach of the Marines and the reserves, I'm curious how the Marines got involved in establishing the need and why Toys was developed 75 years ago.
Yeah, there was a Major Hendricks that was with the Los Angeles Reserve Unit in 1946, and it's an old story. His wife says, she had a couple of stuffed animals, and she said, "Can you find somebody to some organization that does it?" And he comes back later and he says, "Well, I can't find one." She looks at him and says, "Well, why don't you start one?"
There you go.
So he got together with his Marine Corps Reserve unit in the LA area, and they went around and found old used toys, refurbished them, and handed them out. And, of course, this is right after World War II, and people were trying to recover from that.
Right.
And they ended up with over 5,000 toys.
Right. Incredible.
And Hendricks came up with he was in the film industry, and one of his good friends was Walt Disney. And Walt Disney designed the little 3-car train for Toys for Tots and mailed it to Hendricks and said, "How's this look?" And it's been the logo for
I was
Toys
going to
for
say,
Tots
well,
for years.
gee, Walt, you're no slouch at this kind of thing. I think you know something. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
In fact, he drew it on a napkin.
Yeah, as he could do.
As he could do. And,
That's
yep, that was
really
it.
something. Okay, well, so a fine start to the organization, and then from there it just kind of took off, I think, like wildfire, as you described, its breadth and scope, and 75 years strong.
Yeah, the Marine Corps Reserve picked up on it right away and said, "Man, this is something that's going good." And boy, the next year, the whole Marine Corps was involved in it.
Yeah.
And for a long time, and I imagine it still is true, I'm not real sure, but I think the Marine Corps Reserve, this is still part of their overall program for the 4th Marine Division.
Okay, yeah, my nephew served. He was in 4 years. He's out now. He's got a box in his real estate office.
Good.
Yeah, so they stay with it. Talk to me a little bit about, now, are those, what did you call them again? I'm sorry, not chapters, campaigns, interconnected in any way? Or are you're going to serve young people, kids in Sedona, Village of Oak Creek, I'm assuming, and how does that work?
They're interconnected and they're separate. So we serve the Sedona area, the Village of Oak Creek, the Sedona Fire District area.
Okay.
But if we have extra toys, we send them other places. For some years, we've sent them to Flagstaff. They serve a bigger area. Some years, we've sent them to Holbrook. We sent them to Holbrook one time. So we don't keep anything. We make sure that it all goes someplace. Last year, we sent enough toys to the Hopi Nation that they served 250 children there. So
no warehouse.
No warehouse.
Nothing's going to get
no,
okay, yeah.
The only thing that gets stored is in our garage, and there's limited space there.
Right. Okay. How do you identify the children or the families? Is it through the schools, or how does that?
There's a couple ways. Through the schools, they have a paper application that they use. It's Spanish on one side, or Spanish and English combined, actually.
Okay.
The people can apply online at sedona-az.toysfortots.org. So they can go to that website and hit request a toy, and they can apply that way. The food bank in Sedona, the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry, they all take applications. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. I just, when it came time to chat with the two of you again, I just Googled Sedona Toys for Tots, and it took me directly to your website, which is terrific. It's very comprehensive. It's got all of the information that you've mentioned so far, and so it finds out how to get, if you are a family that would like to take part in this, or if you have resources and want to become, do you need volunteers for this year, or are we good?
We're pretty good with volunteers right now. I could always, there is a sign-up sheet on the website.
Right.
But I think I'm going to add a category to the volunteer list for people to fill in when somebody calls and says they can't make it. But I think there's only a couple volunteer slots empty right now. So the community has really stepped up.
People are jumping up. Okay.
And we get volunteers from all different organizations.
Sure.
So a lot of people are helping.
And as we wrap up Thanksgiving here just recently and we move toward Christmas, I'm sure the steam picks up a little bit with this. We'll talk about that when we come back for our from our short break. Toys for Tots, an extraordinary organization, very active in our area, and we'll talk with Leonard and Karen Barrow on Countywide when we come back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Louis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. Again, it is countywide. Leonard and Karen Barrow here, and Toys for Tots, Sedona Toys for Tots. And now is the time. Once Thanksgiving kind of clicks off on the calendar, people get excited about Christmas coming, and we want to make it a happy and Merry Christmas for every child in the community, despite what advantages or disadvantages they may have. If folks are listening now, and we want them, and we know they are, and we do want them to be a part of this, is best to donate a toy specifically? Do I find out which age toys are appropriate? Can I maybe write a check? Is that simpler for you or for them? All of the above, Karen? How does it work?
All of the above.
Yeah.
But if they are shopping for toys, and it's a lot of fun to do that, we need toys for children from newborn up to the age of 14. We actually...
All kids?
All kids,
boy.
And especially probably older kids, because it's real easy to shop for the 4 to 6 year old, and there's a lot of toys out there. But we go up to the age of 14, so
okay,
we could use that. We also, if they go to our website, there's an Amazon wish list there, so they can do their shopping from home, and it'll be sent directly to us. So it's nice and easy, and then there's a donation button on our website also, so we can always use donations because we purchase some toys ahead of time, and we also provide bicycles and helmets for children, so we need donations for that too.
I want to talk about the bicycles because that's almost a breakout piece of what Sedona Toys for Tots does. It's almost another whole chapter in what Toys for Tots does, or am I wrong? Is this part and parcel of what everybody does when they talk to Toys for Tots? The bicycle?
Not everybody does it.
I didn't think so.
It's a lot of work, and I think that's why not everybody does it. I think if the campaigns get too big, it can be harder to manage. And so we're lucky in some ways that we have a smaller area to cover, so we can manage to do it because we measure the kids ahead of time. They apply and they get accepted. We measure them so we know that we have the right size. It's not their height, it's how long their legs are.
Sure.
and we have to get head circumference so that...
everybody gets a helmet?
Yeah, Coconino County Safe Kids provides helmets for us.
Okay.
So it's a really big day. The fire department's there, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, and when you were a kid, the bicycle, that was the big one.
Right.
That's the big gift. That's what I really, really want, especially for kids. It seems like maybe the littler kids. First bike.
Well, we do basically a first bike program because we provide bikes from this year from age 3 through 8. And you might wonder how a 3-year-old can get a bicycle, but there are bicycles that are called balance bikes or strider bikes.
Okay.
They don't have pedals.
Okay.
So they have 12-inch wheels. They're little, and they can get used to moving around on a bicycle and then transition into another bike that doesn't have training wheels.
Right.
And
just learn how to ride.
Right.
Sure. Len, you were telling me that one time there was, I think you even mentioned a family of young people that clearly would never have had bicycles minus the Toys for Tots program.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many we've run into. And also, some of those kids have never been on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And that is, when you look at them and they're 6, 8 years old, and you say, well, what, you have to think about what the situation is.
Yeah.
And it is. And the pictures that we have on our slideshow with grins from ear to ear, just kids tooling around on a bicycle.
Right.
And the other thing that's funny is sometimes you ask them, well, can you ride one without training wheels? And they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
So we ask them, okay, on that back wheel, is there one wheel or is there 3 wheels? And they'll say 3.
Yeah.
And you want to give them a bike that doesn't have it, and they're terrified.
Yeah.
So they need those training wheels.
And there's always one little guy who just takes off.
Oh, he just
jumps on, takes off like a rocket. There's
That's
always
right.
one. There's always one. My kids did that.
And the firemen that are helping them balance and everything are trying to keep up with them. And the firemen, they have a blast doing this.
Sure. Well, and there you go. And that goes back to what we kind of talked toward at the beginning of the show, the kind of social element of this. Now, what a positive experience. Yes, they're going to come away with a bicycle and a helmet, and they're going to come away with some instruction. They're going to come away with some warm feeling that adults who they don't even know have reached out and have done something wonderful for them, whether it's you folks with our organization, whether it's the fire folks, doing that, if some of the volunteers and contributors are part of this. So they're seeing this whole presentation that my community does care for me. And Santa doesn't care if we don't have any money.
Yeah.
Christmas is here.
That's the point of it, too. And the thing is that as we've gone along, we're getting more and more people involved from different groups. Mm-hmm. We got the fire department. Okay, so now the kids identify the guys with the uniform.
Yeah, bingo, sure.
And then the coalition of bicycle people here, Verde Valley Bicycle Coalition, they come over and assemble the bikes and then safety check the bikes.
Yeah.
And it's been growing and growing. And the funny thing is, after they have assembled that's in the morning of the day that we distribute the bikes, a lot of them stay around to help the kids size the bike.
Sure.
They love watching the kids' excitement.
Yeah.
And it's contagious.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Talk to me a little bit about Stuff the Bus. This is all part of the bigger picture, or is this a kind of a breakout thing as well?
The city of Sedona is doing it.
Okay.
So the transit department of the city of Sedona
Gotcha.
Is doing Stuff the Bus. It's on Tuesday, December 12th. It starts at 10 a.m. and it goes all day long till 5:30. They'll be at the Posse Grounds Pavilion. And they'll be parked there, and they'll be accepting donations. Last year, I think in that one day, they provided over 300 toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people jump on board. So there's a ton of different ways. I know some folks, my nephew I mentioned, has a box in his office. You mentioned going on, that's a brilliant way to do it, is to go to your website, then find Amazon, and you can find maybe several gifts that are going to be age appropriate for kids that are kind of needed, that are kind of indicated on the website, or an event like this, or however it works. One way or another, there's a venue or an avenue, rather, for folks to donate and to become a big part of this. We need to take another short break. When we come back, we will wrap it up. It's countywide. We're talking Sedona Toys for Tots. Leonard and Karen Barrow, our guests. We'll be back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Lewis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. It is Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, Leonard and Karen Barrow here, and talking to us about Sedona Toys for Tots. The two of them involved for about a decade with this program and are stepping down after this year. I'm thinking you're not going to walk away completely, if I know the two of you at all, but perhaps in kind of the leadership roles, or am I prying into my business that's not mine?
No, you're right.
Yeah, there'll be something. Well, the two of you are school teachers.
Right.
You've had children in your hearts your whole lives.
Right.
And this is a continuation of that.
I don't think
you didn't walk away from teaching in the same sense that you're involved in this so deeply. So.
No, we'll still be involved. We just won't be the leaders or the coordinators. Sure. And I know the first year or two, Angela Thomas is going to be taking over as coordinator, and we'll be there to help her out because it's a big job.
And Angela's in the room, and she's been quiet as a mouse today. So give us a hey, Angela.
Hello.
There she is. There she is. Well, that's terrific. I mean, what a terrific start that this program has had. And again, I would have you take a look at the website, and we'll give that address and any other information here as we wrapped. You wanted to mention something about a particular sponsor?
Oh, yes. Sedona Toys for Tots is sponsored by Safeco, which is Sedona Area Veteran and Community Outreach.
Okay.
So they help with volunteers. They give us a cash donation. They're a big, big part of our program.
Oh, wonderful. And if businesses, I'm sure, as well as individuals want to become part of this, there's an avenue to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Sure.
We've got boxes out in over 50 businesses, probably closer to about 60 at this point.
Okay. Well, that's terrific. Well, it sounds like it's all set up for another terrific year, another successful year, and we hope that it continues to be so for a long, long time. Sedona-az.toysfortots.org. Did I get that right? That's the website. Take a look there. It's very comprehensive. It's I can't think of a question that I had that wasn't answered by taking a look at the website, but there is contact information there too if you need to reach out and find out more. How to become a sponsor, how to become involved, perhaps how to become one of the families to benefit from the hard work that these dedicated folks do. It is Countywide with Toys for Tots, Sedona, Leonard Barrow, Karen Barrow, our guests. I'm Brad Miller, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.